the issue remained a hot topic in the 2012 campaign. Take a listen.
I think I've said time and again, I'm a pro-life candidate. I'll be a pro-life president.
The policy of a Romney administration is to oppose abortion with exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother.
Joining me now is Jean Monahan, the new leader for the March for Life. She joins me now. Thank you so much for replacing the late Nellie Gray. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for doing the story on the march.
Absolutely. The march is today. And got to ask you, we saw the poll numbers. We said NBC News, Wall Street Journal, overturn Roe versus Wade. Yes, overturn 24%. No, do not overturn 70%. If you look at how this has shifted over the years, in 1989, 58% of the folks said, don't overturn. 2002 it went to 60. 2005 it went to 66. 2013, now 70% of the country. It's a tough battle for you guys.
Well, yes and no. I mean, it's true that the majority of Americans now want some abortion legal, but the far majority of Americans want more restrictions on abortion than we currently have in the United States. We have the most wide open abortion laws in the Western world in the United States. Unrestricted access to abortion on demand here. And most Americans, I think a poll 2 weeks ago said 83% of Americans want some restrictions in the first trimester.
On that point, though, you've seen a lot of states, Mississippi, one, where there's only one abortion clinic, I believe, in the same set for Kansas. In Virginia, you have to get a wider hallway in order to accommodate an abortion by legislation they put through.
Yeah, because a woman actually died in Alexandria, Virginia, when they couldn't get her gurney through the door a few years ago.
So is that, you believe, though, that it's widespread availability in the Western Hemisphere, the United States?
Absolutely. I mean, everybody will agree that the U.S. has the most wide open laws for abortion. I mean, it's commonly known fact. It's true, though, what you're mentioning is that states are enacting positive pro-life laws. In the last 3 years, almost 200 laws have been enacted at the level of the states. These are laws involving a woman's informed consent, involving parents in the young girl's decision, et cetera. So in most cases, they're common sense laws that most Americans are in agreement with.
I went to Catholic University, and the majority of the girls who went there were on some form of birth control. I work on Capitol Hill. I know a lot of Republican women who will say privately that the party is absolutely hurting itself by its stance on birth control, and a lot of them are more, they use birth control and they're in favor of it. Why take this fight to the extreme? Why can't you sort of be cafeteria style? Say, you know what, partial birth abortion, we're for that. But you won't give an inch on birth control.
This is where I disagree with you completely, and actually Americans disagree with you. Gallup poll is showing that being pro-life is the new normal. For the last 3 years, the majority of Americans self-identify as being pro-life. 51% of Americans versus 40% who said that they're pro-choice. If you went to the march today, you'd see a number of young, shining, energetic faces. This isn't an extreme radical issue. This is the new normal. Being pro-life, it's a reasonable perspective.
But is being pro-life give you the right to try and restrict access to contraception?
Those are two very different questions, and right now what we're talking about is the abortion issue. So
okay, I want to talk about life. You were familiar with the Pope John Paul II Cultural Center. You came through that. One of the aspects of Catholic...
I studied at the John Paul II Institute for Studies on Marriage and Family. Okay. Two different things.
Well, let's talk about life. Obviously, this is the March for Life.
Right.
The death penalty, something that we, as a country, in the top 5 death penalty countries in 2011, we're in the company of China, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and then there we are, the United States. The culture of life. Why isn't there more attention paid on the issue of the death penalty, which stats have shown is disproportionately affects minorities? If a minority kills a white person, they're more likely to go on a death row than the opposite. It's costly, as we all know, and is not a deterrent. And oftentimes in our country, innocent people have been put to death. Why is there not more of a focus on that in the March for Life as well?
Well, let me say that actually we are 100% pro-life, and in most cases we wouldn't be pro-death penalty. But the reason that the emphasis is placed on abortion is because it's the human rights abuse of today. In the last 4 decades, 55 million Americans have died as a result of abortion. That is about 1/6 of the population in the United States. It is the human rights abuse of today. So that's why we place focus the
But should
energies primarily
there
on
not
the
be an
abortion
anti-death
issue.
penalty component to a March for Life?
Listen, yeah, we are 100% pro-life, and as we're moving forward, we're going to work on a broad perspective on building a culture of life. So it's a seamless garment. You're right, at the beginning, at the end. The same with euthanasia and things like that. I mean, we're pro-life 100% of the time, from conception to death.
Jean Monahan from March for Life, thank you so much. Good
Thanks
luck with
for
your
having
march
me.
today.
Appreciate it,
Absolutely.
Luke.
Still to come, we've got even more details on the